Alrighty, I was assisting my father in removing some negative items from his credit report, and um, I'm glad he brought this to my attention because he actually had drafted a letter that was ready to be sent out, and he went into this big explanation as to why that item should not be, on his credit reports. There was a contract, a new company came in, he was in a new contract. One should have voided out the others. And even though I understood what he was claiming, it was very difficult explaining to him that will actually make sure that item stays on your credit report. My dad said, no, absolutely not. That shouldn't be on there. I said, Dad, you're from an older generation that has been completely misled as to what the credit bureaus are there for, who they are, where they come from, what they do. And it was a struggle really walking him through that paradigm shift to think completely different than he has before. I said, Dad, the federal laws are set up in a way where you put the burden of proof on the credit bureaus. They are the ones that have this information on you. They are the ones that need to prove that these items belong to you, not you. There's nothing for you to explain. By sending that current letter forward, all you're doing is validating that that did in fact exist, that that event took place. That's all they need to keep that item on there. So instead, let me draft this letter that just says, I want you to validate this item. If it can't be validated, have it removed. I don't believe it should be on there. It's very simple. There's some case law and some section code in there that pertains to Fair Credit Reporting Act and some of these other laws that we use to get items removed. But for the most part, it just turns the tables, puts the burden of proof back on them. If they have information that it isn't 100% correct, if it's not totally accurate or true, it can't be misleading. In fact, if you want to go further into the law, if a contract is ambiguous in any way, law sides with the signer of such a contract. Credit repair very much exists the same way. A lot of theory and the philosophy behind credit repair is similar to how things would be in a courtroom when arguing a case for somebody who did a crime. It has to be, without a shadow of a doubt, perfect. It has to be pristine. If it's not, it has to come off your reports. Again, these are not government agencies. So keep in mind, if somebody had information on you that they were able to put on the internet, they were able to put out in the public, that everybody can see, and there's something wrong about it, that's slander. That really is. If somebody has, by law, they can put my name, Jeremy, out on a big board and it's spelled wrong, how is that going to make me feel? I want my name spelled correctly, for crying out loud. A lot of the items on your credit report, they really are the same way. If it's sloppy, it was in haste, it wasn't done in a professional manner, it shouldn't be there. And so when it comes to credit repair, you do have to have a little emotion involved in there, because if you have bad credit and you're just allowing the credit bureaus to report the sloppy information they have, that's on you. There are federal laws put in place to assist you in getting these items removed. All you've got to do is put in the necessary action. There are steps, initial things that are very simple for you to do to start the communication with the credit bureaus, and I encourage you to do that. There's a lot of other material that we're going to go over at some point, but you really need to understand that the law is on your side. The credit bureaus aren't necessarily the bad guys. I feel they facilitate this stuff really well, but your creditors are another story. If they're not going to do things as specified by law, they can't get away with that. And so lawfully, you can have that record removed from your credit report and have that clean slate again. So there's always a way. It's really up to those who want to put these things in action.